Hey everybody, welcome. I'm Trainer Joe. Thanks for being here. I want to talk to you today about, but I'm married to Bobby Flay. Before we get into it, be sure and click the link in the description. If you haven't done a 21-day transformation yet, be sure and subscribe. It's going to help you a ton. So some people will tell me, I struggle with food pushers. They offer me things and I just feel some obligation to saying yes. And when that food pusher is your spouse, it can be even trickier. I've had people do my program and say, this hasn't been good for my marriage. And it's like, what? But what they're saying is their spouse wasn't ready for this and they don't quite understand what I'm trying to do. We haven't clarified what our goals are. You're going to have a conversation, or you really risk things not going the way you want them to go. Because once you start wanting to live differently, if your spouse isn't in it with you, it's going to rub. It's hard being married anyway, right? We have challenges anyway, and suddenly you're on this health kick that they don't necessarily understand. So it's really important that you have a discussion before you start making some major changes and say, hey, what do you think about this as a goal for me? Hey, the doctor said I should lose some weight. I think I'd like to set a goal of, and be specific. So just because you're doing well, maybe you've lost 15 pounds and they're like, hey, aren't you done? You might say, well, remember we said I want to get to this weight range. If you're not going to have a discussion about it, it can be very tricky. And when your spouse, when your loved one is making food for you and they want to watch you enjoy it, they made it just for you, say, hey, I made this just for you, and you have some reason you're not going to eat it, that can be tricky. One thing, though, to have a talk about is, hey, what if I was allergic to something and you kept making it for me and saying, hey, I want you to eat this. And I'm like, I'm allergic to that. Or what if you were an alcoholic and they were making you drinks and say, hey, I made this special drink, you're going to love it, and you're an alcoholic. Well, if you have a food problem, if you are obese, if this is affecting your health, you've got to look at it like, it's kind of like that and you're pushing it on me. I remember one guy I was working with and he'd lost about 40 or 50 pounds. He was unhealthy. He was morbidly obese. He was from an Italian family. He said, my brother and I were back home with my mom and she kept bringing this food out. And finally I snapped and said, Mom, are you trying to kill us? Do you really want to get to that point, or do you want to have a conversation ahead of time? So have the talk, decide together it's important, and you're going to have to work through some stuff. Relationships are worth investing in. You're going to have to invest in that. Your health is worth investing in. You got to take it seriously enough to where you don't just say, well, forget it. I'll just eat it because I don't want to offend them. No, you got to get beyond that or it's never going to happen for you. Hope that helps you. It might strain your relationship, but ultimately the relationship should get better and you should get healthier. Subscribe to my channel. We do a new video every week. Appreciate you being here. You're going to have to get a renewed mind, so you might want to get in the habit of watching these and learning the new things that are going to help you learn this new dance that you're going to need to learn. I'm here for you. I'm going to help you train your brain and transform your body.